This PeopleSoft Spotlight Series video training for Elasticsearch provides an in-depth look at the process of moving from Oracle Secure Enterprise Search, or SES, to Elasticsearch. The topics we'll cover in this portion of the Elasticsearch training include an introduction to the process of moving to Elasticsearch and prerequisites, adding an Elasticsearch instance and taking bug fixes, deploying the search definition and search category, building the search index, testing, and going live on Elasticsearch. We'll begin with an introduction to moving from SES to Elasticsearch and the prerequisites that you'll need to consider. You may be wondering why you should consider moving from SES Search to Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch is a new search engine introduced in Tools 8.55.11. This search engine can coexist with SES on PeopleTools 8.55.11 and higher for the purpose of moving from SES to Elasticsearch. Many of the concepts and processes used with SES remain the same for implementing Elasticsearch, which makes the transition from SES to Elasticsearch easier. The new PeopleSoft Search Framework design provides a seamless transition mechanism for users already on SES to move to Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch has better crawl and search performance and better resource utilization on the search engine host, making high-volume crawling and searching practical. And it is easier to maintain and administer. SES and Verity will be deprecated as of PeopleTools 8.56, but SES will still be supported until April 2018. In order to understand what is involved in the transition process, here are the high-level steps to move from SES Search to Elasticsearch. Adding an Elasticsearch instance, taking Elasticsearch updates and fixes from the latest PeopleSoft application image, deploying search definitions and categories on the Elasticsearch server, building the search index with full crawling, scheduling incremental crawling updates, performing user acceptance tests, and going live on Elasticsearch. There are two ways to transition from SES to Elasticsearch. You can include production downtime in your transition plans, or you can perform a live cutover without taking down your production environment. A full crawl of all search definitions to build your indexes is required prior to moving to Elasticsearch. You should take this time into consideration when deciding which approach to use for this transition. There are two options for moving your users to Elasticsearch. You can move Elasticsearch to production after the Elasticsearch index is fully built, or you can perform a live cutover to Elasticsearch in production. You may prefer the first option of moving from SES to Elasticsearch with a downtime to avoid the resource contentions for Elasticsearch indexing while the production environment is on SES. You can set up a separate test environment with Elasticsearch to perform acceptance testing. When testing is complete in the test environment, you can take down your production environment while building the indexes with production data and then move to the Elasticsearch instance in production. Alternatively, you have the option to decommission SES in your production environment and install an Elasticsearch instance, build the indexes, and test on your production environment, which will extend your downtime. This graphic shows the high-level steps to transition from SES to Elasticsearch with production downtime. Note in this example that you set up a non-production PeopleSoft environment and add an Elasticsearch instance to perform acceptance testing. After testing is complete in the non-production environment, you take down the PeopleSoft production environment while the Elasticsearch index is built before going live on Elasticsearch in production. The second option for moving users to Elasticsearch is to perform a live cutover. This is a good option if you have a large number of search definitions and can't afford the downtime required for a full crawl of your definitions to build the Elasticsearch index. In this scenario, you will configure a new search instance for Elasticsearch on the production server. The new framework is designed so that you can still use SES Search while indexing and testing Elasticsearch before moving Elasticsearch into production. This graphic shows the high-level steps to transition from SES to Elasticsearch without production downtime. Note in this example that the new Elasticsearch instance is added to the PeopleSoft production environment, coexisting with the SES instance. SES search can still be used while you complete Elasticsearch indexing and acceptance testing in the production environment before going live on Elasticsearch. Before you begin moving from SES to Elasticsearch, be sure to meet these requirements. You'll need to have a PeopleSoft 9.2 application and the latest PeopleSoft update image for your application. You're on PeopleTools 8.55.11 or higher patch level. You meet the resource requirements for Elasticsearch. You have one or more hosts provisioned to run Elasticsearch. Elasticsearch updates are installed in your PeopleSoft environment. You must complete the installation instructions in PeopleSoft deployment packages for Elasticsearch installation, PeopleSoft PeopleTools 8.55, to download and deploy the Elasticsearch DPK. Elasticsearch documentation resources and instructions are available on My Oracle Support PeopleTools 8.55.11 or higher Elasticsearch Home Page, doc ID 2205540.2. You will need to use the following documentation for moving to Elasticsearch: the PeopleSoft deployment packages for Elasticsearch installation, PeopleSoft PeopleTools 8.55 for installation instructions, moving from SES to Elasticsearch for instructions to move from SES Search to Elasticsearch, and PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology Online Help for Elasticsearch implementation and maintenance information. To access the documentation and instructions for moving from SES to Elasticsearch, go to the PeopleTools 8.55.11 or higher Elasticsearch Home Page on My Oracle Support and click the tab Moving from SES to Elasticsearch. Next, we'll talk about the initial steps in the transition process: adding the Elasticsearch instance and taking the updates and bug fixes from the latest PeopleSoft update image for your application. The first step is to add an Elasticsearch instance to your PeopleSoft environment. There are two ways to do this. You can use the Search Instance Properties page. For details, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Working with Search Instances. Or you can use the Automated Configuration Manager, or ACM template. You'll use the search template named SES template if you're on PeopleTools 8.55.11, or Search template if you're on PeopleTools 8.55.12 or higher. Note that the ACM templates can also be used to deploy search definitions and categories and build the index on the Elasticsearch instance. For full details and instructions, see PeopleSoft deployment packages for Elasticsearch installation, PeopleSoft PeopleTools 8.55, integrating Elasticsearch with the PeopleSoft environment, adding and configuring an Elasticsearch instance. As of PeopleTools 8.55.11, you can add multiple search instances and prioritize them. The new functionality provides a framework for adding multiple server details on the Search Instance Properties page, allowing you to deploy and index data to multiple servers at a time, but restricting search to only one server. To determine which server will be used for searching, you set priority for the servers. Highest priority is given to the server with the lowest number. When a new instance is created, it will have the lowest priority, which is max priority plus 1. You can reset the priority for the search instances on the Search Instance Administration page, which we'll cover later in this training. SES and Elasticsearch search engines can coexist for the purpose of moving from SES to Elasticsearch. You can create multiple search instances for Elasticsearch, but you can have only one search instance for SES. If you want to complete acceptance testing in a non-production environment, you can also set up a non-production PeopleSoft test environment and add an Elasticsearch instance. If you are planning to move from SES to Elasticsearch with downtime, you must set up a non-production environment with an Elasticsearch instance. The next step is to take the Elasticsearch updates and bug fixes from the latest PeopleSoft update image for your application. You will use Selective Adoption and the PeopleSoft Update Manager tool to apply the bugs to your PeopleSoft environment. Many of the updates and fixes for Elasticsearch were introduced over a period of time for your application, so Oracle recommends using the latest image to ensure that you have all of the updates and fixes required. However, to find the minimum required PeopleSoft update image in which Elasticsearch updates and fixes were delivered, you can refer to the My Oracle Support document PeopleSoft Applications, Elasticsearch Updates and Fixes, Doc ID 2181988.1 for a list of the bug fixes you need to take. This shows the Elasticsearch Updates and Fixes page on My Oracle Support. Click the link for your application to view the list of bugs that you will need to apply to your PeopleSoft environment. This section describes how to deploy your search definitions and search categories. Oracle recommends that you deploy your search definitions automatically using the ACM template. See the Spotlight Series training, Deploying Elasticsearch, for details. You can also deploy your search definitions and categories manually, which is covered in this section. Before deploying your search definitions, you may want to consider whether you have developed any in-house SES search definitions that you want to use in Elasticsearch. If you want to use your own custom SES search definitions and pages, you will need to make some changes to your PeopleSoft environment. These changes are only required if you have developed and want to use your own custom indexes. Use PtSearch Search Filter Generator APIs to replace O-text queries in the code. Use PtSearch Search Filter Generator APIs for any filters such as attribute value and attribute value used by the custom filter code. Select the Is Hierarchy option for any field on the search attribute mapping page that has a soft hierarchy defined by the query in order to process the hierarchy defined in the hierarchy path. To access the search attribute mapping page, select PeopleTools Search Framework, Search Designer Activity Guide, Search Definition, and select the Map Search Attributes tab. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Creating Query and Connected Query Search Definitions, Mapping Search Attributes. You must deploy your search definitions before building the search index. Use the Deploy Search Definition page to select the Elasticsearch server on which to deploy the search definitions and the search definitions that you want to deploy. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Administering Search Definitions and Search Categories, Working with Search Definitions. This example shows the Deploy Search Definition page. To manually deploy search definitions on the Elasticsearch server, select PeopleTools, Search Framework, Search Admin Activity Guide, Administration, Deploy Delete Object, Deploy Search Definition. In the Search Instance field, select the Elasticsearch instance. Then select the search definitions that you want to deploy on the Elasticsearch instance and click the Deploy button. You must also deploy any additional search categories that include a group of search definitions. Use the Deploy Search Category page to select the Elasticsearch server on which you want to deploy the search categories and the categories to be deployed. Note that any search category that has the same name as a search definition is automatically deployed when the search definition is deployed, so you only have to deploy any undeployed search categories that you want to use. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Administering Search Definitions and Search Categories, Working with Search Categories. This example shows the Deploy Search Category page. To manually deploy search categories on the Elasticsearch server, select PeopleTools Search Framework, Search Admin Activity Guide, Administration, Deploy Delete Object, Deploy Search Category. In the Search Instance field, select the Elasticsearch instance. Then select the search categories that you want to deploy on the Elasticsearch instance and click Deploy. This section describes how to manually build your Elasticsearch index. Oracle recommends that you build your index automatically using the ACM template. See the Spotlight Series training, Deploying Elasticsearch, for details. You can also build your search index manually, which is covered in this section. After you deploy the search definitions and categories, you use the Build Search Index page to perform a full crawl of all search definitions to build the search index on the Elasticsearch instance. For the indexing type, select the Full Index option to perform a full crawl. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Working with Search Indexes, Building Search Indexes. You can find troubleshooting tips for index building on the Troubleshooting and Known Issues tab of the PeopleTools 8.55.11 or higher Elasticsearch Home Page, Doc ID 2205540.2. This example shows the Build Search Index page. To manually build the search index, select PeopleTools, Search Framework, Search Admin Activity Guide, Administration, Schedule Search Index. Enter a Run Control ID. On the Build Search Index page, select the search definition for which you are building the search index. For the indexing type, select the Full Index option and click Run. The Run Control ID is now bound to both the search instance and the search definition. Click the Process Monitor link to verify that the program ran successfully. Next, we'll talk about testing Elasticsearch. After you build your Elasticsearch index, you'll want to perform acceptance testing. You can validate the functionality by testing Elasticsearch using a few test users before moving it to production. Assign the users to test the PeopleSoft system with Elasticsearch using the Search User Instance page to assign the search instance for specific users. The priority of the search instance that is set in the Search Instance Administration page will be overruled by the search instance that you configure on the Search User Instance page for specific users. When these users sign into PeopleSoft, the default search engine will be Elasticsearch. Shown here is an example of the Search User Instance page. To assign testers, select PeopleTools, Search Framework, Administration, Search Instance User. On the Search User Instance page, select a user to test the index. Select the Elasticsearch instance and click Save. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Working with Search Instances, Assigning Users to a Search Instance for Validating Indexes. To test Elasticsearch on your PeopleSoft system, you can use the Search Test page to select the Elasticsearch instance from which you want to fetch search results for the specified definition. You should perform thorough acceptance testing of Elasticsearch using your existing search scenarios and the test users. Note that using the Search Test page bypasses component access and security to the search index. Getting results from the Search Test page is the first step to validating the health of the index. You may also want to test with authorized users who use the associated component. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Working with PeopleSoft Search Framework Utilities, using the Search Test page. This example shows the Search Test page. To test Elasticsearch using the Search Test page, select PeopleTools, Search Framework, Search Admin Activity Guide, Testing and Utilities, Search Test page. Select the Elasticsearch instance and the search category to search in. Then enter your search criteria and click Search. In this section, we'll discuss the options for the final step, going live on Elasticsearch. Once acceptance testing is complete, and you have two options for moving all of your users to Elasticsearch. You can change the existing SES search instance to Elasticsearch in production after a downtime for index building. This option applies if you completed Elasticsearch acceptance testing in a non-production environment and plan to have a downtime while building the Elasticsearch index in production. Or you can perform a live cutover to Elasticsearch without production downtime. You can use the Search Instance Administration page to set the priority of the Elasticsearch instance to 1 so that all searches will be redirected to this search instance for all users. This allows the time for live cutover to Elasticsearch to be nearly 0. If you have completed Elasticsearch acceptance testing in a non-production environment and prefer to have a downtime while building the Elasticsearch index in production, these are the steps you'll need to complete to change the existing SES search instance to Elasticsearch in production. First, undeploy all SES search definitions and categories. You'll need to change the search instance configuration to point to Elasticsearch. Next, you should perform a round-trip test to ensure connectivity to Elasticsearch. You'll deploy your search definitions and categories and index data to the Elasticsearch server. You should schedule incremental indexing to keep your indexes updated. And then you're ready to go live on Elasticsearch. The first step is to undeploy all SES search definitions and categories. Use the Deploy Search Category page to undeploy the search categories that are not automatically deployed. Use the Deploy Search Definition page to undeploy the SES search definitions. When you undeploy a search definition, the search category of the same name is undeployed. See PeopleTools PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, administering search definitions and search categories, sections Working with Search Definitions and Working with Search Categories. Step 2 is to change the search instance configuration to point to Elasticsearch. Use the Search Instance Properties page. For details, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, administering PeopleSoft Search Framework. Step 3 is to perform a round-trip test to ensure connectivity to Elasticsearch. You can access the round-trip test page by selecting PeopleTools Search Framework, Search Admin Activity Guide, Testing and Utilities, Round-Trip Test. For more information, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Working with PeopleSoft Search Framework Utilities, Running Diagnostics. Step 4 is to deploy search definitions and categories and index data to the Elasticsearch server, which we covered earlier in this training. Step 5 is to schedule incremental indexing to keep your indexes updated. Use the Build Search Index page and select the option Incremental Index for indexing type. Note that if you use the ACM template search_template to build your index, you can schedule incremental indexing using the run control IDs created by the template. Step 6 is to go live on Elasticsearch. If you prefer to perform a live cutover to Elasticsearch without taking down your production environment, you'll need to complete these steps for live cutover. First, reset the Elasticsearch instance priority. Use the Search Instance Administration page to reset the priority to 1. Next, you will need to reset the search instance priority for the test users. You can either reset the search instance priority for the testers on the search user instance page to point to the new priority 1 instance, or you can just delete the test users from this page. Then you'll need to schedule incremental indexing to keep your indexes updated. Use the Build Search Index page and select the option Incremental Index for indexing type. Note that if you use the ACM template, search template to build your index, you can schedule incremental indexing using the run control IDs created by the template with the naming convention search definition name _INCR. For details, see PeopleTools 8.55 Search Technology, Administering PeopleSoft Search Framework, Working with Search Indexes, Building Search Indexes. Now you're ready to go live on Elasticsearch. You will also need to undeploy your SES indexes and decommission SES to clean up the old settings. This demonstration shows you how to perform a live cutover. First, go to the navigator and select PeopleTools, Search Framework, Administration, Search Instance Administration. To change the priority for the Elasticsearch instance, first enter 2 in the priority column for the SES instance, and then enter 1 in the priority column for the Elasticsearch instance, and click Save. To reset the priority for the test users, go to the navigator, and you're already in PeopleTools, Search Framework, Administration, and now you can select the Search Instance User link. On the Search User Instance page, you can reset the search instance for the test users to the Elasticsearch instance, or you can just click the minus icon to delete the test user rows from this page. And then click Save. After you schedule incremental indexing, you are now ready to go live on Elasticsearch. Remember to clean up your SES settings after you go live. Here's a brief summary of the additional resources available to assist in your transition from SES to Elasticsearch. Review the documentation on the PeopleTools 8.55.11 or higher Elasticsearch Home Page, Doc ID 2205540.2. go to the PeopleSoft information portal at www.peoplesoftinfo.com to view the other Elasticsearch videos in this series, already available or coming soon to the PeopleSoft Spotlight Series page. Strategies for using Elasticsearch with PeopleSoft, deploying Elasticsearch, and administering and monitoring Elasticsearch. You can also find additional information on the PeopleSoft Elasticsearch concept page.